honestly,
Yeah.
they are brainwashed. They can't even tap into their own thoughts. Their own thoughts. The brain is being controlled.
Hi, I am Judy Marie, owner of Miracles of Health. Thank you for watching today, and please like and subscribe, as that really helps us to spread valuable information to many people. Today with me is Ginny Holiday from Pennsylvania, Pittsburgh area. And Ginny, thank you for joining in today. And we always have a really good time every time we get on and talk, and you never know what's going to come out of our mouths, right? But
That
it's
is
going to
true.
be good, huh?
Yes.
So we were talking together about coming up with a subject that is really in front of both of our faces, of different symptoms and experiences we're having. So it's a little bit of a tongue twister, but Ginny, go for it.
Well, here it goes. Yeah, let me be the one. Is it dementia or is it dimensional ascension?
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that you and I were just about talking about, because I said to my sister, I want you to be honest with me. I feel like I'm forgetting so much that I want to make sure I don't have any other signs of dementia. So I asked her, be honest with me and tell me. She said, you don't have dementia. Everybody is forgetting things. And that's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Everybody is having memory issues.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But it doesn't mean that it's dementia.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's a big difference.
Yes. And there is proof that when you are making the transitions in different levels of ascension, you will have forgetfulness.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, because even whenever you get into the fifth dimension, that fifth dimension, you have the capabilities of going in and out of spiritual worlds and physical worlds. So you can imagine how you might really forget certain things, but in the fourth dimension, you are learning to let go. You're learning to let go of things that no longer serve the greater good or your greater good. But then you are downloading new things, and all of this is going on simultaneously. And it's a whirlwind of information. Whether it's leaving or coming in, it still makes you feel like you can't retain things like you used to.
Yes, it certainly is all changing. And I'm thinking of the heart chakra. Okay, that's the center of the chest. That's the chakra that unites the lower ones, unites the higher ones, and that's really the chakra that's being purified right now. Any matters that are stuck in the heart of the past, any fears of the past, I believe is surfacing for a lot of people. The opportunities to come up and heal, so we can be open to the lighter bodies per se. So the energies and all the intuitive promptings are coming in, that we will be able to discern them clear as I don't know, I feel like so much is being cleaned out. There is no way, my experience in going to all these other, opening up to other dimensions. Okay, let's say that if I'm holding on to a particular resentment to a situation that happened 20 years ago. And I just heard this from a client yesterday. Okay, this is perfect reminder for me. of what is declining in his body at such a rapid rate. I believe he's in his mid 70s. And I'm seeing all this stuff. He's talking about that's coming up physically and physically and physically. And I keep waiting for that one thread of what is it that a person is holding on to. And sure enough, towards the end of the visit, it blew up, it came out, something he was so angry about for years. It just went on and on. And I'm like, great. That is, we got the root going here. That's what I look for. I look for that within myself. I look for that in other people. And these are the things that can block a person shifting dimensions if they still are holding on to anything of the past. And what you said about letting go, it is that fourth chakra. That is our emotional center of let go, let God. Do for me what I cannot do for myself. Okay. And then it's more and more of that will happen. But then back to what we're talking about, dementia, there's many variables to it. Okay. But I'm just going to talk about this holistically in a shorter version. Unresolved issues of the past may trigger dementia symptoms. More so. That's a little different than what we're talking about.
But there again, on that same thought, dementia creates regression. So even though it's something very old, doesn't mean it doesn't have the capabilities of still creating something. It does. It's creating the dementia as a result of regressing backwards, but I don't know that it's even humanly possible for anybody. Well, let's say, okay, so love is the most powerful tool any person can possess. It's the greatest emotion. And if you compared it to something like roses are supposed to carry the same kind of energy, frequency that love does. Well, if you look at pure rose oil, it takes like 5,000 tons of rose petals to make 1 gallon of oil. It is so expensive, but there isn't any comparison in the human body with emotions as there is love either. So as a result, if somebody is carrying, as you said, something like anger or fear, anything of the sort, they cannot ascend.
Yeah.
No matter what, they can't ascend. And that business with the fear, it really causes a paralyzing feeling that we know of within ourselves on a physical level. But what is it doing to you on an emotional and a spiritual level? It's holding you back. Everything becomes in a frozen state. So it's very, very important for individuals that if they have some type of a reoccurring thought, it could be their way of trying to bring this to the forefront of their thinking in order to deal with it so they can ascend. But like you said, other issues, physical issues, can take place as a result of it also.
Yeah.
And nowadays, seeing a little bit fewer people, but talking to lots of people yet, men are having a harder time with this than women. Because if you remember one of the other Zooms we did, women are magnetic. So we're automatically more grounded with Mother Earth. But men are electric. So men are having a far more difficult time of this than what women are. They're losing their patience a whole lot faster.
Mhm. Well, I think between the male and the female, I mean, so much of this is all changing. Those rules are all changing, and what was expected, and the matriarch and the patriarch, and it's all changing. It needs to, that we are equal, that we are all one, no matter what. And I had a very fascinating experience that I think you knew it in the beginning. I mean, we were talking about this a few days ago, and then now I want to share with you what happened since. Okay, this is really pretty cool. As an example, this week in contacting you, and how I had an experience where my legs, from my waist down, nothing would work. All of a sudden, everything just stopped and the pain was excruciating. Prior to that, now I connected some of these dots. So, and anybody listening to this right now, hey, if you're going through a lot of these ascension symptoms, it is not a boring life. Okay. It is, and nothing is working linearly. It's just changing by the day. We're evolving that fast by the day. Everything's getting rewired by the day. So I was going to be on this talk with these people with another company, and it was about self-love and for Valentine's Day. So I was studying what I call the love sandwich, or the Pono forgiveness mantra that was used. So for the listeners who don't know about it, I'm trying to find the doctor's name that I wrote down. But anyways, he's the one who came up with the forgiveness mantra. And here it is, Dr. Hewlen. Okay. Years ago, I don't know if you remember this, Ginny, he went to a clinic to work with the mentally ill criminals who were on death row. Okay. So he was in this institute, and he said, just give me their charts, their name, their charts. And he looked at their charts, and he would sit there in the room, and he would do the mantra, which says, I love you, please forgive me, and thank you. But I'm going to say the love sandwich here, just a little bit different, but how I have done it. And he would look at their chart, and he would feel their anger. He would feel their rage. He would feel their emotions. He would feel everything. And this is what he said. He said, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you. And all this would come up in him. And he said, this takes healing on such a deeper level. Like, oh my gosh, if we are all one, as he was saying, they are one with something in him, because we have this idea, I'm only responsible for me. I'm not responsible for you. And I get that, but he's taken it on a deeper level of oneness in doing this mantra. So 4 years after he did this, every one of those people who are mentally ill criminals healed. They recovered. That institute actually closed down. Not one of them went to death row. And he shared that you can say, dear memories, into our own cells, into our own body, and say, I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me, and thank you. And all the memories that are blocking the heart, all the memories that are blocking our essential, anything in the past, anything from our past lives, anything from our ancestralhood, whatever it is, come up for healing. I believe totally that's what happened to me, because we know any kind of sexual abuse, which has been in my lineage, is in the hips, the tailbone, the groin. It's all in that area. That's where the pain, everything felt locked in. But you know what? This is what I want to talk about with you that could help other people listening. It's a release. It's a release of what is coming out. It's because it's so common to think the more you're on this awakened path, there are times where you think, oh my gosh, this is getting worse. Oh my gosh, this is hard. I think I'm going to die. It's crazy what the head will do. But when we go back into our heart, like I had peace through this whole thing, and I prayed, and I had a releasing of energies and other entities that I truly believe that there is a shadow side, a dark side that wants to contain our light. They want to keep us trapped. They want to keep us back. Oh no, just like you're writing, you're on your 7th, Ginny's a future author. She's working on books, right now, which is going to be amazing for anyone to listen to the knowledge she's putting in these books. But then there's going to be this opposition of, wait a minute, you're going to be doing something so great in the world and your light is going to shine even stronger. And things do come up to challenge people, through changing these paradigms. But I want to say, when I finally connected the dot, what's releasing, prayed over, get the energies all cleared out, then I woke up. 2 days later, nothing. It's all gone. And my body feels lighter. And this is why people want to stop on the awakened path. They're like, oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's too painful. No, we're here to clear the energy and to enjoy what is coming in the ascension, or to even find our joy now.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because you can find the joy, but it doesn't necessarily have to be on the highest level. Some people may not be able to come to terms, but it doesn't mean that they'll be restricted either, that they can't have some ascension, but it won't be as intense or as high as they could possibly go. So there again, we are responsible to some degree of either complying or non-complying with the energies. You work with it, or you don't work with it at all, you don't do anything at all, or you resist it. And you know what we said, what you resist will insist. And if it's something negative, then that's all you can expect out of life. If you want the best, then you need to think the best. You need to become the best that you can become. And keeping yourself stuck in the rut of negativity, whether it's fear or anger, anything like that, it's going to hold you back.
Why do you think, Ginny, some people with everything going on now feel a lot, and some people they don't feel nothing?
Honestly,
Yeah.
they are brainwashed. They can't even tap into their own thoughts. Their own thoughts. The brain is being controlled, whether it's through watching televisions or listening to certain kind of music. You can be brainwashed all sorts of ways, and it can affect you mentally, the way that you think. But remember, your brain is controlling the rest of your body.
Well, back on that thought, with the brain, because I want to keep connecting the heart and the brain. When the heart and the brain isn't connected, then we don't have the good circulation going. But it's like people are alive, but yet they're not. They're just going along in life. So I mean, this is such a good time to still be creative, just like you're writing your book series, whatever it is. I don't know about you, but I find myself, I just want to keep creating. What else can I do that will be, good for mankind? What else can I do that will help me to still have such a love for humanity and Mother Earth and a time to be still, yet be busy in good things. Because I don't know, like my tolerance right now, let's say for negativity or gossip or sharing stories that are of the past and they're not really going to make a difference in anybody's life for the betterment of it. It's noise to me. I just want to move away from that. If it's something that could have a purpose, will support healing or will support the good, of anything, then I'll listen. I'll be there. But I don't know. And I've heard this from other people too, going through this ascension process. They're starting to change their priorities. They're starting to pick and choose. Wait a minute. Do I really want to be around these frequencies and this vibration? The friends that I maybe used to hang out with, or I don't even know how people have time to hang out right now, I'll tell you the truth, with all the stuff I'm doing, but it's got to be purposeful.
Right. And, having backed off a little bit from the one-on-one business with individuals.
Yeah, because you worked for like 40 years with a lot of people, lot of people.
Yeah. So what whenever you're talking about low tolerance for different things, one of the things that really I said quite often towards these past few months was probably from last September to the end of December of last year. I said, please don't ask me to care more about you than you care about yourself. It's not fair. And so we would hold all these meetings, monthly meetings, different groups would come in and we go through our meetings. And it was amazing. I had to actually tell people, you're here and you're just taking space up. That's not fair to somebody else who actually wants to do the work, because they would perhaps do a saliva test, they would go on a program, but then they wouldn't stay with it. And they found every reason not to eat right. Every single reason not to eat right. And even the doctors wouldn't make appointments for them anymore. How about that? Told the nurse, don't even make another appointment for her. She's in here every week. The chiropractor says you're having too many adjustments. Don't come back for at least a month. Just because they always need somebody else trying to do the work they're supposed to do themselves. So it got to the point where I realized, if you don't want to do the work, that's entirely up to you. But don't expect me to do it for you either, because it's not possible. Mm-hmm. You're the one who has everything to gain from the efforts that you put forth, and you're not doing anything. And it was, in a way, I said, God put just certain people in my life for a certain period of time, because if you get uncomfortable enough with it, if they don't make the change, then I'm not a person not to make changes. I love change. And so I did. I made the change where now I'm going to be impacting, hopefully in a most positive way, many more people's lives by writing books. People that don't even know who I am may read a book and be able to pick it up and say, now I understand this, or this makes sense to me now.
Mhm.
But people who came every time we had a meeting and did nothing with their life, they're going to remain stagnant. And that's what you had said about grounding. And that's what people need to do today. If they're finding themselves stuck in a rut, they can't get themselves to think something positive, like you're saying, please forgive me, I love you, thank you. Okay, if you can't even get yourself to that point, then I would suggest getting yourself either some grounding mats, or it might be too cold for some people to go out in their bare feet and walk around on the ground. But the only way that you can really get where you mentally and your heart is filled with love, your thinking is going to be either coming from your heart or not. And the one way that you can make sure that that is happening is making sure you're grounded.
Mhm.
That's so important for everybody right now, because they are. They don't know what the heck is going on. Some of them they're oblivious to everything.
Mhm. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely. And that's where, with the heart, any level of letting go, letting God, any level of forgiveness, I find myself today talking to God, praying more than I have my whole life. And it's not a prayer of begging,
Huh?
oh, please, 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 it's not that. There's gratitude. It's a relationship. It's my will and thy will. How may I best serve to my highest good, to the best of the planet? And you and I talk about this at times, how excited we are to be living during these times. This
Mhm.
is so darn exciting that we get to be, that we are star seeds, we are light workers, spiritual warriors to help lead and guide and facilitate these during these times. I mean, this is this isn't all for nothing. This isn't a doom and gloom deal. This
Mhm.
is about ascension. We
Yeah, and
truly are.
yeah, and like, we know the individuals that we are. Well, in order to be able to help others, you need to go through the process yourself. To be the best teacher, you must be the best student first. And that's what we have. We are. We have been students of this and have gone through this, and hopefully are learning the many lessons to be able to help others. But each person has to open themselves up to it, to allow just a little bit of that light to come in, and it will help set you free.
I like that point, to be open. If you're not sure if you are, just say a prayer, that just set that intention that you will be. And it really takes that staying open. And I say, may I always be a student of my teachings. There sometimes, the first book I wrote, She Thought She Could, She Did. There are times where I just have to go back and I reread it. The last book I published, Second Wind, it's about teaching people how to get a second wind in their life, how to find purpose beyond pain. Okay. And even right now, wherever anybody's at, find purpose beyond pain. What other good thing today can I do for somebody else? Or maybe it's yourself. What is a kind thing I could do for myself?
Mm-hmm. Well, we know that thoughts evolve to energy. So what you think about, you will either be manifesting more of the same
Mhm.
or inviting something better or something worse.
Mhm.
So if somebody has, just say, like with yourself, whenever you had this ordeal with you got just locked up there for a while.
Yeah.
If you focused on that alone, oh my gosh, I can't rock, I can't move it. As long as the thought process stays there, then that's how you're going to stay.
Mhm.
In order for you to move past that, it's extremely important that your thought process moves first.
And then the muscles will, the tissues will, the connective tissue will. I mean, everything. And I think of this for years when people have had issues with constipation. You know, when we work with them with constipation, you've done colon hydrotherapy for years, you know, just phenomenal at it. And when they start to, that muscle starts working, they're going to feel things they have not felt before. They're loosening up the toxins to come out of their body, and the cells will start, you know, going like, whoa, whoa, what are you doing to me? It's not always comfortable when you start to activate the body to work better, or when you're getting the old issues out of the tissues, memories from lifetimes or what's been in the DNA for families. We're clearing up that, and that is a very important part of ascension.
Right. And that's like in my one book with the lymphatic system. Um, I write in there just to let people know your lymphatic system does clean a lot of the garbage out of your blood. Okay, it's like a garbage dump. Well, it's not only for the toxins that's being cleaned out of your blood, whether it's chemical, parasite, fungus, virus, it doesn't matter. But the lymph is the main dumping ground for emotions that cannot or you refuse to handle. And you know that book, Buried Feelings Never Die. They come back and they haunt you. And the way that they do that is because the energies of all those negative emotions are dumped into the lymph system. And then people wonder why they get very toxic or sick or their immune system is so bad. It's because they just refuse to deal with something that's negative.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you think just by forgetting about that it's gone away, it has not. It
No.
has not, you know. But like yourself, you could be inheriting something through the DNA of
Mhm.
others who experienced it, but you are the one who broke the chain.
Mhm.
You are the one who dealt with it. Was it necessarily comfortable or easy to do? No, it's taken work, but you were willing to go through whatever it took.
And sometimes we're led, guided to do things we don't know till it's over. Why? You just trust it. You just
Mm-hmm.
trust this is what I'm to do. This is what's going to happen. And, you know, it might just be a pretty good hurricane or tornado that takes off inside, but it will settle out, and there will be very, very positive cleanup as a result to it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And to be able to, I mean, after going through something like that, I feel like my mental faculties, I feel like my whole body has gone through a shift and a change, you know, which we're not, Ginny, we have never settled for complacency. Okay, we've never settled for the crumbs or, oh yeah, this I'll just get by with this. No, I want the full life force energy to continue to thrive through me, around me, in my life, and who can I share that with? I've seen this with you too. You know, throughout the years, all that you have done, you know, with people, you know, with ourselves. I mean, it's not that we came in born, on a silver platter and kumbaya, everything is so cool. Are you kidding? For healers and light workers and shamans, and I mean, came in with some of the toughest roads, to maneuver. But that's part of this awakened path. But the
Right.
bliss and the blessings that come from it is so dynamic.
Well, don't you think that as of recently, just in the past, I'm going to say maybe 6, 7 years, and more so, even more recent, people today just seem to be afraid. They have so much fear. They don't even know everything they're afraid of. They just know they're afraid. What, and that fear keeps you from ascending. 100%. A person who holds on to such fear cannot ascend. And so if a person is struggling and they just can't seem to get out of the rut, it's always in that. They start moving and then they get that fear into their heads again and it freezes them up again. Because in the higher realms of dimension, you have to realize you don't have all of this fear and this hatred and all this negative stuff. So if you don't get rid of it here, you can't go to that next level.
Mm-hmm.
You're not going to be permitted to drag that along with you.
I agree. This fear of loss, not having enough, or what am I going to lose? Is it going to be my health? Is it going to be my car? Is it going to be my home? This fear of loss. I want to read what I love this. This lady shared this. So these aren't my original words. And it says, you can't wait until life isn't hard anymore before you decide to be happy. Okay? We no matter what is going to happen, what is happening in our lives, we still can choose that inner peace. And she said, I never wrote her name down, but I just want to acknowledge that, this came from her. I am so much more important than the bad things that happen to me. Like we want to define ourselves by, oh man, you can't believe what happened to me. Oh my gosh, I can top that one, comparing the bad things. And people who get joy out of other people's misery will always be sick. They'll always be ill if they find such joy in other people's misery. And the last one I want to say, and we've talked about this too, do not be limited by the symptoms. I'm not going to be limited by the symptoms. If that says this is what this is, I can accept whatever this is, but that is not going to stop me from the power of healing and making the changes that we're capable of making.
Right. And just like you said about the symptom, well, what you really want to go after is the cause anyways. Okay, so if it happens to be on this level that we're just talking about, then it's the environment. You have to change something in your diet in order to get rid of, say, gout. No matter what it is, whether it's cancer, whether it's sugar diabetes, whether it's constant migraine headaches, the environment within your body is sick. You need to change it in order for the symptoms of diabetes or cancer to go away. See, and that's the one thing about ascension. The more that you ascend, the more clarity and the easier it is to only see truth. Not that you don't see what is untrue, but you can connect with the truth, where the other you don't want to make that connection with. But Ascension gives you the capabilities of knowing when something is truth. Down in the third and the fourth, maybe the fourth on the way up to the fifth dimension, but in the third dimension, there's really not a way that you know for sure that you can recognize truth. But if you start ascending, it's almost like a guarantee.
And I think when I think of the ascension, I think of expansion. It may not be linear, but it may be, it's just really expansion, everything just blossoming out like a multiple flowers and opening up and that I'm glad you're sharing that about the truth, because the truth will set you free. And granted, what is one truth to one and what is one truth to another, I can't decipher that, but I can for what my truth I know to believe in at this moment until I'm shown different or whatever, and that again is very freeing.
Whenever you called and you told me about what was going on with you,
yeah,
immediately I just thought, okay, this is probably emotional. So I go tapping in and do my thing. Okay, so this is probably emotional, but let's just check it out. And it was, but here's the thing. It had to do with your ascension. Because the bones are 85% spiritual and only 15% material.
I do not think I heard that before. 85% spiritual, 15% material. Wow. Right. You talk about life force energy can strengthen your bones and bone marrow.
Right. And the clavicle bone is the most spiritual bone in your body.
Now, why is that?
Well, consider it. It's the yoke. Helps guide, right? A yoke helps guide an ox. It is the guide.
Wow. So how, with what people go through, how does that change then? Like how, what are the symptoms or what will you feel?
Well, let's just say, like with yourself.
Yeah.
Okay. You were ascending, going through a period of ascension, and your bones are going to feel it. Your bones are going to feel it because if you are ascending, they're 85% spiritual. But let's say somebody has arthritis really, really bad, or scoliosis or something like that. What does that tell you spiritually? On a spiritual level, that person is sick. The bones are sick. You see?
So people may not be aware of that. They may not be aware of, because they could believe, because I could think of a situation right now with someone where they think they really are. But I know very well they have scoliosis. I know very well they have a lot of arthritis, on and on and on. So I don't know how in the world you even awaken that, or.
But here's the thing. What made the bone sick? Go back even further. What made the bone sick? And if you think about arthritis restricts. It causes you to lock up. You have immobility. What emotion creates that? Fear.
is, so I've heard under fear is a lot of anger, or either under anger is a lot of fear, one or the other that way.
Yeah, generally, I would say the fear came as a result of the
Of
anger.
the anger. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I could see that.
So then you have multiple levels
Mm-hmm.
that you have to clean.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and some people think, I don't know, maybe there is some quantum healing. There is such a thing as quantum healing, but I'm sure you run into this. How in the world do you communicate this to someone else after the years of what it's and the experiences it's taken to get to this point, where some people just want it overnight? I don't know. My
Well,
goodness.
yeah, but I can't tell you, Judy. I've just had so many. I've had an individual over 30 years. Just, oh yeah, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to do this and then leave the office, come back with the same thing for 30 years, just doing the same thing over and over again. It's individuals like that that help me make the decision that I made to
Retire
leave that part of the business, retiring and go in. Yeah.
into writing. Yeah.
Hmm.
In
Yeah.
community. And then that's purposeful too. You know, this
Mhm.
activates the best journey for you at this time. And, you know,
Right.
that
But some people just don't get it.
yeah. And I'd rather live life, they say, by attraction versus promotion. I'd rather just live an attractive life, but live a life that I'm so passionate about, and live a life that I'm really enjoying, that I really like. And, and
Right.
and I found the joy, Ginny. This was fabulous. Even though I was going through this amazing release in my body, in my hips and tailbone and groin, the whole thing, I still could feel the joy. That is what's
Hmm.
fabulous. It didn't have control of me. That's the thing. We will let our bodies have control of our minds. We'll let our bodies control our life. And we make decisions based on, oh, okay, what this diagnosis was and this symptom was, versus let this spirit, let your heart, let your higher truths, you know, of in that beautiful power of nature healing nature, of whatever that's going to look like, whatever that's going to take.
Hmm. Yeah. But there again, like you said, if you use your mind in the wrong way, you'll only worsen the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, I really believe as long as you are giving the body the right supply of water, nutrition, oxygen, and you're eliminating properly, the body can heal itself of anything,
Mm-hmm.
right? I don't think that you need any of these supplements as a rule if you're eating properly. But most of the time, people are not getting the right foods, as we say, organic,
Mm-hmm.
non GMO, not bioengineered, all that stuff. And you're getting the right nutrients.
Mm-hmm.
You should be able to use your mind
Mm-hmm.
and really heal yourself of anything. I just had my neighbor give me a set of CDs to watch, and it was about this medical doctor. And he said that any medical doctor, he would consider them good if he could walk into a dark room with a stethoscope and nothing else, never see you, but use his stethoscope and analyze you just from a stethoscope in his hands and tell you what's wrong with you. He said a good doctor can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't have to draw all this blood out of somebody and all. He said It's that simple to analyze what the body needs. And I found that very interesting coming
Yeah.
from a medical doctor like that, you know.
Yeah.
But here again, you know, like I said, you know, this may not even have anything to do with this, but I have to bring it up. You know, we have that Trinity machine,
Mm-hmm.
you know, we talked about. Well, I was born with poison ivy. My mother had it the entire 9 months that she was pregnant with me. She gave birth to me, never had poison ivy after that. But I can have poison ivy every day, even in the wintertime. I have a supply of what I call waterweed so that I can apply to this poison ivy because it almost took my life a couple of times. And I have it all year long. Well, this supposedly Trinity machine is able to get down into the DNA. Okay. This is the first, last year, 2023, is the only time I have never had poison ivy in my life.
Wow.
Never had poison ivy. But one of the things I do remember is mentally always thinking, oh, I hope I don't have an outbreak because I had a seminar or something to do. But there it was. It was a part of my life for so long. It was embedded in my memory. Whenever I started with the Trinity, I also started erasing it from memory.
Mm-hmm.
But isn't it interesting in doing that? Perhaps the Trinity did its job, but perhaps it was the mind that healed the body.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
And it just works. The power of the thought and the spirit into it all. And the thing, I don't know, you don't run into this. I think you said as much as where you're at, a little bit where we're at and other places, the quality of food has been hugely compromised, not to mention unknown variables that are in different foods. So how it was for people to get the pure good food that they can purchase reasonably, those days are gone right now. You know, and you always pray over your food. I mean, we people have to do the best. That's why there are some things that I truly believe in taking, you know, like the Pura cleanse or taking the Pura Green that we have through the company. Some of the supplements will be needed for nutrition based upon limited availability and what's really good for you. I mean, all this is changing, you know, so, you know,
Mm-hmm.
it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Hannah Kroger's store offers something called a Soma board,
Yeah.
SOMA, that if you cannot financially afford or find food that has not been like sprayed with pesticide chemicals or herbicide chemicals, what have you,
Radiated. Yeah.
yeah, this will help neutralize all that. All you got to do is put your whole bag of food, shopping bag full of food on there for 20 minutes and it will neutralize all those chemicals.
Okay, that's really good to know. I didn't know you could put the food on it or whatever you have
Mm-hmm.
on it
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
Soma boards. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
That
Because
that's
even if
good.
you go out, you can't control your food, right?
Mm-hmm.
So even if you go out and you have your Soma board, you can just put your plate on top of that Soma board, you know, and a certain
Mm-hmm.
amount of it will be
Mm-hmm.
neutralized
And
and
it's like a round disc, maybe
it
4 or
this
5
is
inches
well
in diameter.
no this
It's a
one now
big one?
they started making it, it looks like it might be 4 by 6.
Oh, I don't have that size. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's the
Okay.
new one now.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm gonna have to get that one too.
yeah.
Well, Ginny, this has just been awesome, awesome, awesome to be able to, hang out with you, share some really good stuff to our listeners. And I'm excited for you working on your book series. So we'll keep everybody posted once you get that published and going. And meantime, if you want to reach Ginny, she's very busy right now with her writing and what she's doing with different people selectively right now, but you can contact me at Miracles of Health. It's Judy Marie at miraclesofhealth.com. If there's anything that you would like to be in touch with Ginny about, or would like me to relay some information, but she's it's very limited right now of her time and availability. So, and Ginny, thank you dearly. So much throughout the years doing things together with you and being able to have you as a very dear close friend.
Yep. And many more years to come.
And many more years to come. You bet.
Right.
And hey, we're always just getting warmed up, wouldn't you say? You know,
Yeah, for sure.
So much more coming.